Welcome to the Dome Dawg Podcast. I'm your host, Matt DeBritz, and today I have entrepreneur, philanthropist, and Syracuse superfan, Adam Weitsman. Adam, how's it going?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
So, why are you a Syracuse fan?
I've lived in the 607-315 for my whole life, and I just love what it does for the area. You know, it's a cold environment up here, and it's just something families can do, and it brings people together. And I love Syracuse. I never went to Syracuse. People think for some reason like I went to Syracuse because I like the team so much, but I didn't. But I live here, and some of the best times with friends and family are supporting the team and going to the games.
So, from what I see, you and Jim Boeheim are pretty tight.
He's a really close friend. I mean, we're totally like opposite people, but we get along really well. He's like, we look different, we act different, but we're both like loyal friends to each other, and try to support each other, through good times and bad. So
did you guys go out after that huge win on Saturday night?
No, I saw him after the game, but I had some visitors from out of town, so I was with the visitors till they flew out late, and then he went home with the boys. So I think Buddy and Jimmy and everybody were pretty happy. Julie looked really happy, so it was nice to see everybody happy for once.
The guests he's talking about are Giannis Antetokounmpo, his brother Thanasis.
So it was like really fun because I think it really got people like hyped up. It's been a little rough season. It's cold up here.
Right.
People a little down. So they came, and at halftime, they went back, and then after the game, they did like some great speeches with the team, and I think it really hyped people up. And they were definitely engaged. They were definitely engaged in the game, which was really cool. I brought some other guests up there before, but I think of all the guests, they were the most engaged in games, looking at the stats, talking about the players. Even on the way home and all night, they're talking about this guy could go to the NBA. People don't realize this guy's NBA material, and so it was pretty cool.
What guys did Giannis say could go to the NBA?
I mean, they really like Benny. They were talking about
Benny
Williams a lot. Yeah, they said he just does style. He's just an NBA player, and they said there's some guys that just have that thing that they could survive in the league, So, and they said that guy, if he continues, could survive in the league.
What about Buddy? Did you think Buddy could see in the NBA?
They weren't talking about like anything like a negative towards anyone. I just said they thought Buddy was shooting great that night, and they love Buddy, and they thought the whole team was passionate. Our big guy underneath the basket, they were really impressed by him. And they thought Cole did really great. So Joe, everybody. I mean, they were really impressed because if you really looked at the team, they were really hungry this game, and they play different than they have in the past in this recent. So if they play at that intensity level, I think we're gonna have I think the rest of the season should be pretty good.
They shot the lights out in the second half, shooting 62%, and I thought Cole Swider was a big difference in the game because he played within himself. I talk about that a lot on the podcast. Just guys playing within themselves.
Cole happens to be also one of the nicest kids too.
Yeah,
he's passionate. He's hungry. He's a great kid. I agree with you 1,000%.
My wife's family's from upstate New York, and I'm from upstate New York, and everyone talks about you, Adam, about how you help the community and how you have run your business there. I know that you went to New York City after college, but then you decided to come back to upstate New York. What was the reason?
I had a sister pass away young from cancer, and I came up after that to help out up here, and then I ended up staying up here. So it was it was a tough move back, but of course I was going to come help the family first, and that's first and foremost. So, but then I got back up here, had some trouble with the law. I went to jail for a year, which wasn't fun. When I got in trouble in my 20s for the scrap business, did the year, and then after that, I was just like, I don't want that to be my legacy. So I've been working really hard to try to rebuild my reputation from that cluster.
I think you have 13.6 million followers on Instagram. As I see in every picture, you're either with one celebrity or another. You talked about other guys you brought to the games before. Talked to Tom Brady lately?
Yeah, I talked to him often. He's a really good guy and a really good friend, and definitely a passionate guy, and we try to push each other, and it's good. So.
Have you been up to TB12 for a workout?
No, I have not. No, we don't talk. It's funny. He and I don't talk much about sports. It's more about life for our kids and stuff like that. So he probably got enough people to talk sports about. And plus, I don't know anything about football anyway. So I'd probably be of all his friends, I got to be probably the least knowledgeable in professional football.
So going back to upstate New York, I got a big question for you as far as Speedies. You like Speedies?
No, I'm vegetarian, so no.
Oh, you're vegetarian.
I know. That's but
Okay.
we are in the home up here of like Lupo Speedies, and we have really good Speedies up here in the 607. So
could you eat like a vegetarian type with a Speedy marinade in it?
I don't know, what would that be taste? I'm not sure. But there's
you'd be the guy to do it.
Lupo, Salamita. What other ones are there?
Speedy Rib Pit.
Yeah, Speedy Rib Pit, Salamita.
Yeah. I was going to ask you Lupos and Salamitas, so that kind of ruined my fun there. I thought for sure that, but I didn't do a research to see if you're a vegetarian. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay, but I'll eat.
What about pizza? Do you eat Nurchi's?
Yeah, Nurchi's is really good pizza. There's a lot of great pizza places.
Yeah.
A lot of great pizza places local.
A lot of good restaurants in the upstate New York area. People don't realize the golf courses and the pizza places, right? And the restaurants.
Yeah, surprisingly, in the Binghamton, Syracuse area, Ithaca, there's like really good restaurants up here. Some of the guys are really killing it, and we're lucky to have it here. It's better than I think most places.
Well, speaking of pizza, you had a donation to Barstool Fund, and you got to do the tasting with Dave Portnoy. What was that like?
That's really fun. Like he and I become friends after that, which has been pretty nice. I mean, again, totally different personalities, but he loves Syracuse basketball, surprisingly. So like he'll send a message, after a game, or he always bets on Syracuse, and I'm pretty sure that he'll end up coming to a game. So I think we'll see him at the Dome soon.
Oh boy,
for sure.
That'll be good. You can take him to a lot of pizza places around there.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when he does the pizza stuff, it's like when we did that in the city, it was like totally random. He just picked it out of the phone book. There's no like setup on that. We're just in the office. They just like, okay, that's where we're gonna go, and that was it. So he doesn't give him any like heads up or anything that he's coming, which is pretty cool.
No, he shouldn't. Otherwise, they'd be expecting, better this way. But
that was a lot of fun. The pizza was okay. He said I graded too high.
do you ever partake in Mario and Salvo's, the place that the team eats a lot of times after the game?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. That's a great place.
Really what about Pavone's?
Been there too. Great place.
Yeah.
Go to Twin Trees sometimes.
Twin Trees.
Yeah, go there.
Hey, is Luna still there in Syracuse? It was like almost like a reverse pizza where it would kind of be like the crust on top and the cheese in the middle.
I haven't, I've heard about that. I heard it was really good. I haven't been there, but I definitely should check it out to go support. I like to support the family-owned places around here. So as much as I can, I like to go to the smaller places.
So Adam, I was going to ask you about the land at Davis College. I know that you had talked about making it a basketball, like elite program and an esports program. Any update on that?
It's, what, with COVID, it killed it. It killed that. Right now I have it leased to Binghamton University and New York State. There are tenants in there full right now. They're using the gym for COVID things, helping out, COVID testing, students that have COVID, things like that, place for them to stay comfortably. And there's no way we could house the kids together, so during that time. So down the road that might be, but that's been definitely put on hold.
Can you help Syracuse at all with any recruits? And how does that work?
They're so strict. NIL, it's really, really strict how it works. It's like, it's weird because there's no rules, but, we have a conservative university and I don't want to get the university upset. So I sort of follow by, they have basically their own set of guidelines, and their set of guidelines are pretty strict compared to other universities. So I have to follow in those guidelines. So would I love to get a couple big players here? Absolutely. But it's a little tough. If I was in Miami, I could be killing it.
Yeah, I had two lawyers on my show last week, Dan Lust and Mike Lawson, actually a Syracuse grad, and they talked all about NILs. And they actually mentioned you. That's why, I thought it was ironic that they mentioned you in the NIL deals. And they talked about how it's the wild, wild west, and just kind of how you just said.
I wish we could step it up a little.
Yeah.
But because I want to bring somebody major. You can't. It's very clear that you can't make it pay for play.
Right.
You can't do that, but you can definitely. If somebody's interested in Syracuse, it's a nice part of the package. If they're already interested in Syracuse, it's a nice part of the package. But the only NIL deals I'll do are for somebody that's they would have to be the top 1, 2, or 3 in the nation, maybe top 5 in the nation. So I'd only do like a really home run deal, and there's a lot of local people that have done some really great jobs on the smaller deals. I just sort of want to focus on bringing a home run marquee player here.
Yeah. Well, if you see all the Syracuse fans, they're asking for more recruits and all that sort of stuff. And it is like the wild, wild west of who can you get, who you can't get.
We could get almost anybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I was given the green light to go, we could get almost anybody, guaranteed. I mean, maybe we're not going to get like a football. Maybe we're not going to get like Manning's son or something like that. Because
Right.
But top 3 guys in the nation, absolutely.
Wow. Well, I hope that that opens up for you, for Syracuse fans and me, because that's good for all of us, right?
Yeah, I hope so. But again, there's a lot of eyes on me, so I got to be really careful.
Yeah.
You can't do any backroom deals. So it's got to be very straightforward on the up and up. But
Right.
Once they get the law sort of worked out, that I know what guidelines. I've talked to attorneys on it already. There's without question we could get into Syracuse 1,000%. That kids that are in the top 5, not in the East Coast, top 5 in the country.
When do you think that stuff will start lightening up?
I don't know, I've had a lot of meetings and stuff like that, but so far it's there's just a lot of red tape and a lot of your hands are tied on a lot of stuff. So I can't really do anything, or have I done anything to jeopardize anything with the school standing with the NCAA.
Buddy is the one killing it on this year's team. He's got a lot of deals. He was the first guy to have a deal in place on July 2nd. The guys I mentioned before, they talked all about him and how he's kind of become the standard on Syracuse. Did you counsel him at all as far as his deals, or was he already set?
Oh, he's represented by Rock Nation for NIL, so he's getting really good. I mean, look at the kid; he's well spoken, good-looking kid. Is one of the nicest kids on the planet. But so is his brother.
Yeah,
a little different personalities, but Jimmy's superstar too. Jimmy's right there. Jimmy's one of the smartest kids out there too. But he deserves it. I mean, his personality is engaging. He's like that behind the scenes, behind the camera. He's really kind. And I mean, if you look at Coach's kids, Coach is miserable, but he's got 3 amazing kids. I mean, thank God thank God they got Julie's personality and not his, because that'd be Buddy would get 0 NIL.
Why is he miserable?
He's just miserable because he has the bar set really high and he really wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love that about him. He has the bar set so high, and he wants to win for the people around here. He doesn't get paid more money if they win or lose. He just wants the people in this area to really have something great, in our region. So when he loses, he does not like to lose, and especially this year is tough, I think, because the kids are on the team and they're a really good team. It's just last week showed what their potential is. If they play like that, the whole season, we'd be talking about a totally different thing. We'd be talking about, did you get your reservation for the tournament?
Probably 7 of their games, they were right there. So it would be a completely different record. People talk about this recruiting or this athletic guy or that athletic. I said, but they've been in the game, 7 of the 10 losses, they were there. A few games they're a little overmatched, but for the most part, they were right in the game. Best sports moment.
Duke, when we're at Duke, when we beat Duke, and
2019.
And Marek took the charge and everything. That was
on Zion Williamson. Yeah,
that tiny little stadium. That was the best. I can't remember. There was nothing. That was one of the best.
So how does that compare to going to the Super Bowl?
Way better, because Super Bowl's fun and everything. It's a lot of famous people around. But when you're at Duke, and there's only like little tiny pot of orange and a big sea of blue, it was the most fun, because I think we were the underdog by 18 or 19 points. And,
yeah, that was a great win.
Yeah,
for sure. Anytime you can beat Duke, it's a great win as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that was a bookie killer, that deal. So,
I'm sure.
A lot of unhappy bookies after that game.
You're going to play a 2-on-2 game with Coach Boeheim and one of the sons. Which son would you pick?
Jimmy.
You picked Jimmy. Why?
Yeah, because I need a big guy. I'm short. I need the biggest guy ever. Buddy's really great, and I love Buddy and Jimmy. I consider Jimmy a really good friend, and we talk about like business and other stuff. So I would. They're both amazing, but I'd probably ask Jimmy to play that game.
What's going to happen first? You're going to start another business, or Syracuse in the Final Four?
I'm going to start another business.
Do you start one right now as we're doing this?
Get stuff in the pipeline, so that's not fair against Syracuse on that one. So I'm like cheating on that one. So yeah.
Can you say what it is?
I'm doing a lot of stuff in the metaverse space and the crypto mining space and stuff like that. So a lot of it's like, a lot of the business I do, I really invest in people. So I got like a ton of different businesses, but it's really just making strategic investments in people. So like I do a business. I invested in, Jake Paul, the fighter, did an investment with him, which is really turned out to be a really amazing investment. And so it's more like, I just try to see, instead of ideas, it's more of just investing in great people.
Along those same lines, you have a business for mentorship, correct?
Well, yeah, yes and no. I invested in Profound.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Jeff Noss is like really brilliant guy. He sold his company, really young guy, smart. He asked me to be a part of it, and I helped fund it. And it's not something I make money off of, because any money I make, I just give to charity for that anyway. So all these kind of businesses like the restaurants, that I don't make $1 on it. I just give it, then I'll get to the boys club and stuff like that. But it was just a really great, it's a great mastermind program where people can really learn from each other in a really crazy setting. Like, I was surprised because I honestly didn't think he would fill it up, and he filled it up. Like, he had so many more applications than membership slots. So I think he should really expand it. But the first 100, he had a lot of applications. I was surprised because it's not cheap,
Yeah.
It's not cheap. I don't remember how much it is, but it's expensive. And then we did some scholarship stuff for some people that couldn't, well, times are tight, for money. So we want to make sure we did some scholarship stuff in there too. So.
Would you rather take Jim Boeheim's money in Texas Hold'em or drive a sports car?
Oh, take his money, because sometimes we play poker together and he's the sorest loser ever. And he usually wins. The problem is he's a really good poker player, probably one of the best guys around here. So there's nothing better than taking his money, making him walk to the car to go get more money. Nothing better than that.
I saw
it's really cold out too. There's nothing better in minus 20-degree weather to see that guy walk down 2 flights of stairs, go in his car, have to come back up to get money. That's one of the greatest. That rivals the Duke thing in sports for me.
I'm reading a book on Red Auerbach, the famous Celtics coach, and I come to find out that he really liked Chinese food. And it seems to me that I've looked through a lot of different things. A lot of coaches like Chinese. What about Jim Boeheim? Does he like Chinese?
No, he hates Chinese. He hates Mexican food. He hates Chinese food. Doesn't like Indian food. No, it's really tough. It's like really tough. It's annoying because he just complains about everything.
He doesn't like Chinese?
No, we never get to go to like any good Chinese places. Like, I'll be like, I own a Mexican restaurant, and I'm like, I don't want to go there. I'm just like, oh, gee, thanks for that vote of confidence.
Well, there was reports, I don't know if it's true or not, but 2003 when they won the championship, that almost like the next day he was in IHOP or something like that.
I could see that and he's probably complaining at IHOP too. So. Don't forget, he's a big foodie though too.
Yeah.
He's gotten to eat in a lot of the best restaurants, being on the road, his career. The guy's really knowledgeable about food. He's gone to some of the best restaurants. I own restaurants, but he knows way more about food than I do. So, he likes what he likes, and and that's what he does. If there's a restaurant in Syracuse he likes, he'll go to that same restaurant over and over and over.
What about Tully's? You ever go to Tully's?
Well, I love the owners of I love the Tully's guys. The Tully's are friends of mine, so I try to go there to Copper Top, to support them sometimes. And I'm a big Rise and Shine guy, so I love Danielle and her husband over at Rise and Shine. So we'll go over there on Westcott and go support her too.
Tully's, Donovan McNabb worked there. Mike Hopkins worked there when they were.
That's
yeah,
cool.
They did.
Yeah, I really like those guys because they're big Hughes fans.
Yeah.
The guys that own Tully's and Copper Top. So I like to go over there post game sometime, so sometimes I'm calling them to try to stay open late too. So we're pretty annoying when we're hungry. So
Can you get into any restaurant in Syracuse late if you just call ahead?
It's when you own restaurants, it's a little easier because it's sort of like you share the courtesy. Like if any restaurant owner or restaurateur, somebody that works at a restaurant, if they call me up, I'll always get them in one of my restaurants just because, they're in the industry. So that helps more just because you're in the industry and everybody's trying to, people compete, but you're not really competing. Everybody's just in the restaurant industry, everybody's just fighting to survive, so we all help out each other.
You said before that you're a vegetarian. So how does that work out with some of the places that you own or go to a lot? Do they have special dishes for your Adam Weitsman?
Not really special dishes. I can eat any sides, I can eat baked potato, I can eat broccoli, I can eat pasta. I love pasta, so that's why I'll never have abs or anything because I eat pasta all the time. So no pasta. I can eat pasta 7 days a week.
You go to Possibilities a lot though, right?
Yeah, I like Possibilities. Possibilities. Coach loves that stretch bread they have there. If God forbid if they don't have that on the menu, he'll lose his shit. But he loves the stretch bread. He loves that dough, that fried dough at the state fair. There's little things like, like, let's go to the state fair. I'm like, really? He's like, I'm like, you're gonna go in daytime, right in the broad daytime? Yeah, call Eric Devendorf, see if he wants to go. Like we go to the state fair until he gets his fried dough. He's not a happy camper, but
What's Devendorf get at the state fair?
That guy's larger than life. I love that guy. He's one of my best friends. And when my daughter, is so funny, he did that thing where you can never make it in that stupid rim that's really too small. Yeah. And he made it on one and got my daughter this huge stuffed animal. It was a pretty legendary moment because he just does it, and it was just, it was pretty cool. He's Syracuse through and through. Syracuse should be very thankful that guy is here.
Boeheim's Army in the summer was kind of felt great for them to win the championship on that end too. How was that for you?
That was the best thing. Like when you said best sporting events, like there's no way we should have won that. And then when we won the last game from being down, I was really excited that the guys got paid because some of that came in handy for the guys and for their families and for their kids. And we got one guy that got to go to the NBA because of it too. So our star guy went to the NBA.
Right?
Now he's killing it. Okay, but they gave him they got good publicity from that tournament, and the eyes went on him, and the guy's a superstar, so it's good. He just needed a chance.
Syracuse is going to host part of it this summer. Be around for that too.
Yeah, I'm going to be part of the team again. I'm going to do the recruiting again. I did that with Kevin, who's the GM. Allowed me to come in and do my thing. So it's kind of cool because TBT, there's no NIL rules. So it's anything goes. So, we're going to be bringing back another team that is, we're going to put together the best team, best TBT team in the country.
Do you think if Melo retires, he'd play on the TBT team?
No.
Too high for him.
I just don't think he would. I don't think he would. He's on the West Coast now, but it's hard. Like once they, because there's a lot of risk of injury and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's tough to set up a TBT for a guy like Melo. I begged Dion to try to play this year. I almost had Dion Raiders. I thought that was a close one that I almost had. Raheem Christmas would have played, but he got hurt. But the team we put together, we won, and I'm gonna go after those guys again. But it would be cool to see like a Dion play. Coach says Dion was one of the best players he's ever coached. I didn't realize that. I knew Dion was great, but he said of all the people he coached, he said talent-wise, he said Dion Waiters was one of the greatest players that he ever coached.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. He didn't even start.
Yeah, he wouldn't even start. That was crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it just shows, but it just shows, for these younger guys that aren't starting. So the younger guys that get frustrated early, look at Dion.
Yeah, it's a different time though. With the transfer portal so open,
you're right.
And guys can just go wherever. I last year's team lost so many guys, and it was disappointing because they were in the Sweet 16. It was tough to see those guys go, but I wasn't too surprised.
I wasn't surprised at any. I wasn't surprised at any of them.
No, why weren't you surprised?
as you said, the transfer portal is really easy. On the inside, you hear the talk and you hear the stuff. I don't think anybody was surprised. Those guys, maybe Kadari. I think people might have been surprised, but I don't think anybody else was surprised.
Hey, Adam, really appreciate you coming on the Dome Dawg Podcast.
Nice seeing you, my friend.
It was educational for me. I wish that you took some speedies in though, because I'm sure everyone wanted to know what you like better, Lupos or Salamitas, but maybe you're gonna have to come up with a vegetarian dish for them. Maybe. All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, good seeing you.
That was Adam Weitsman, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and Syracuse superfan. He had a lot of cool things to say. How he knows Tom Brady, how he brought Giannis to the game the other night, who Giannis thought was a pro, Benny Williams, by the way, all you Syracuse fans who say he's not that good. He talked about NIL game, how he could bring top talent to Syracuse if he was allowed to. So hopefully those laws loosen up so Syracuse get the top talent. Before I get out of here today, I do have a sponsor. The Dome Dawg Podcast is brought to you by Zalstone Jewelry. Live luxury lifestyle. Anyone who orders till the end of the month of February will receive a 20% off website price. Just mention Dome Dawg Podcast in the shipping instructions.